Welcome back, everybody, and we've added another person. Welcome back to the show. This is our NASCAR preview, looking at the Wise Power 400. I am your host, Scott Steen, a lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com, joined as always by
Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And today, if you notice, we're a three-box. We're the tri-box, everybody. We are joined, coming over from his own show, Just Parlays, where he has been absolutely crushing it. Can I introduce you to Chris King, the owner of 218 Parlays this week? What's up, Chris?
Actually had a third one yesterday, but we didn't talk about it.
A third eight-teamer?
Yeah, we had yesterday was, let me pull my screen because we were talking about it briefly on the show earlier. Yesterday was UC Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, Golden State, Portland over, Phoenix, Memphis, Minnesota under, because remember I told you about that number, how out of whack the splits were for them.
Right, right.
Columbus, Florida over 7, Nashville over Dallas in the NHL, and San Jose over the Islanders.
So what'd that pay out?
Oh, I don't even know. Some ugly number that
you had a couple of overtime games go your way, but that still counts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And so you
I'm sure I paid out some ungodly number that I didn't get a cut of because of the fact that you can't bet here, but you know.
So you've hit 3 8-teamers in a week?
Yeah, it's just because we do so many games towards the end that, you know.
No, that's not why it is. There's a lot of guys that do a lot of games that don't hit an 8-teamer in their fucking life, and you've hit.
Sure, some people are listening to that going, I need to add more games.
So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm, the next Jimmy the Greek, because I know that regression is going to eventually come, and it's going to come hard and fast, just like,
Again, I can't stress this enough. If you've hit 3 8-teamers in a year, you shouldn't really have to worry about much regression because you've already made your nut. So. Very good. And that's the thing.
I don't, because you can't bet here.
Right. You're down there in the armpit of the world in South Carolina.
Exactly.
The fucking Palmetto State, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
So yeah, you do it just for the love of helping your fellow man. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
And we also talked, just to be fair, we did talk about Murray State. I don't know if you guys talked about them yesterday or not. I was surprised they were only favored by 3.
Yeah.
Oh, it made no sense.
We talked about that for sure.
We talked about it, yeah.
I figured you did. I just didn't have a chance to catch everything because I did our show, then I had to do stuff, and then I had to do the show with LA yesterday that he got mad because we talked about how the 76ers overpaid for Harden, especially when Harden's first words were, I'm not going to sign the option. I'm going to test free agency. So, if the 76ers don't win a title, they've wasted their money.
Yep, very good. All right, so we're here to talk racing, guys, so let's do it. Let's talk about last week's Daytona 500. It was won by a driver that we all had. We love this kid, talked about him a lot during the show. Austin Cindric, and in total honesty, I don't think his name ever came up.
I think we might have mentioned him in the Xfinity race or when somebody asked about that.
Right? Yeah, it was quite a shock. He nosed out Bubba there, nice block at the end that kept who was in third?
Blaney.
That was it. Kept Blaney from winning, and that gave Bubba a shot at the inside. Couldn't quite get there. Good finish. Congratulations to the kid.
And Cindric is Blaney's teammate. Cindric wouldn't even been near the front if it wasn't for Blaney in the first place.
Yeah, he didn't give a
blocked him.
Yeah, that's
he wants to win Daytona. I don't blame him.
That shit all goes away on the last lap. You guys know how that works. So here's the deal: we pick 3 drivers. We pick a kind of a favorite, we pick a mid-range, and we pick a long shot. Last week I had Kyle Larson, and we've devised a point system where you're basically
you
came up with
something, and we're just looking at the standings.
That's right. There you go.
Okay.
I came up with a point system, and basically reverse points for wherever you finish. So if you finish in depending on how many racers are, let's say there's 40. If you finish in first, you get 40 points. If you finish in 40th, you get 1 point, et cetera, et cetera. So high points is good. I had Kyle Larson. He got me 9 points. I had Austin Dillon.
He was doing well until that crash.
Kind of the story of my day. I had Austin Dillon. He got me 16. And I had Christopher Bell, who was actually making a nice run. He got caught up in the melee. He ended up getting me 7 points. Not good. Reichel had Hamlin. That got him 4 points as Denny went out
on me
early. He had Elliott. Elliott did well, got him 31 points. And he has also had Haley as his long shot, got him 18, while Chris had Blaney. He got 37 points, and he got a 3-point bonus for being in 5th place. We give bonuses for top 5 as well. He had Bowman at getting 17, and he had Mr. Jones getting a 12. So at the end,
I should have stuck with Almirola when I brought him up originally.
At the end of our first week, I have checked in 3rd place. I'm stalking the field. Chris has 69 points. Scott has 63. And I've got 32. So this week we're going to...
You preparing for next season already?
No. I'm just... Daytona's a crapshoot, man. It's
of course it is.
Anything can happen. So going forward, we're also going to reveal like our favorite matchup. So we'll do that as well, and we'll keep track of the money. And in the other way...
How many favorite matchups do you have today, Scott? Like 32?
I actually reduced it. We were going to be out of time, so I only got 2 this week instead of 3.
Yeah, we're gonna have to grip it and rip it here, guys. So heading to Fontana, relatively flat track, 2 miles long, kind of one of those boring tracks like Michigan or Pennsylvania. That the tri-oval out there.
Oh, Pocono.
At Pocono, sorry, not Pennsylvania, but not one of my favorite races. I got to be honest with you. You don't see a lot of action. Not a lot of wrecks. So you got to have a good run. Got to have good tires. You're going to have long runs and not have an opportunity to change your tires. So you got to make sure you can number one, keep your lug nut on. That'd be a good thing, as we saw last week in Daytona. Guys, did they have a problem with the single lug? This is the first year they've gone to the single lug, and in the first 30 laps, we saw 2 wheels rolling down the track. Is that just an aberration, or is that something to keep an eye on?
It's week 1. Like, I'm not going to overreact to it.
Okay.
I feel like whenever you change any type of rule in any sport, there's a little bit of, I'd say, room for growth or room for actually adjusting to the new rule. The Blaney situation was weird because the lug nut wouldn't go on, and then you look up and he's in 2nd place. So I don't really know what the hell happened there, but I do think it'll work itself out and they'll iron out the kinks as the season goes along. But I expect maybe 1 or 2 more issues here. They'll get it out of the way early and figure it out late.
Chris, you on that same boat?
I think Scott's right. I think every time you adjust to something new, you're always going to have problems. But you'd have to think that now they've had a week to work things out. Hopefully we don't have another issue like that. But if we do, at least there'll be cool YouTube clips to watch, right?
That is a really bad look, because if that happens at speed, especially at Daytona, something like that.
Yeah, that is true. That is a valid point.
So you've got to make sure you get that fixed. I'm kind of with you guys, though. I think it's they had their first chance to really, really test it under game conditions and probably made whatever adjustments they needed to make.
It could have been worse, like you said, if something had happened going 180, 190 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a problem. That could be a problem. So, all right, guys, well, let's do it. Let's talk about this Fontana race and who we've got picked out as our winner. You guys are going to love this one, especially Rachel. Scott, who am I taking this week?
Just do it already.
Who am I taking?
Just do it. You're taking Kyle Busch.
I am taking Kyle Busch. That's right. Kyle Busch plus 750. He's done very, very well at this track. What can I say, man? He's got in his career, he has 22 starts, 4 wins, 11 top 5s, and 16 in the top 10. So basically 16 out of the 22 races he's finished top 10. That's a good body of work for me. I know he has been absolutely snake bit, but he's been good over the last 2 races there. Last 2 races he's finished in the top 5 and won one of them. How do I avoid him? Give me Smiling Kyle at plus 750 to win the race. Scott?
I got Kyle Busch too.
Oh,
I got him at plus 850 on FanDuel.
Okay.
He's won it 3 times since February 2019. Really fun stat. They didn't run this race last year. He has an average finish of 1.5. So the last 2 times he's been here, he finished 1st and 2nd. And I actually thought he did a really good job last week. If you want to go just based on building confidence from Daytona, Busch was involved in a couple of wrecks, or he was at least caught in the pathway of a couple of wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually did a pretty good job of keeping the car in there, and he finished 6th. So if you want to talk about the actual path of keeping your car clean, it seemed like everybody crashed right in front of Kyle Busch the entire race, and he still finished top 6. I thought he actually did a very good job last week.
Let me ask you this, Chris, because we saw that a couple times where cars sustained some damage and were still able to maintain speed and keep towards the front of the pack. That's a new thing at the super speedway. It used to be you'd get a couple dents on your quarter panel and your aero package was shot. So is there something with this new car they're driving, the new aero package with the you got the underscoop there, the air diffuser? Did that help those cars stay competitive even though they sustained some damage?
I think so. I mean, like they said, they're going with on intermediate tracks now. They're higher horsepower, lower downforce aero packages. So I guess maybe that's going to help them too because you've tweaked things to ramp up the motors. It's nice to see because everybody hates when you're driving along and all of a sudden your car's going from 180 to about 35 because you crumpled everything up and you look like you're in a demolition derby.
Right.
But we'll see how that pans out as the season wears on. God knows NASCAR loves to tweak things just to piss people off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's something we're going to have to watch for going forward as well.
Absolutely. All right.
That's one thing I noticed, though, at the end of the race, because Bubba Wallace lost a piece of the front of his car on that crash with about 5 to go, I believe, and yet he kept going, and he ended up coming in second place.
Yep. All right, Scott. All right, Chris. So we each have Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were allowed to pick the same guy.
Yeah, we can. You can go with it. You know,
warning.
That's
warning.
why we do.
No, I hate Kyle Busch. So I mean,
it's Kyle Busch alert.
Sadly, I hate Kyle Busch and I hate his brother. But I mean, if I'm going to deviate from picking Kyle Busch, then I'd have to go with Kurt Busch. He's won there once. He's got 8 top 5s and 14 top 10s in 27 runs. Strangely enough, he's actually got 4 poles there as well, which is, more than any other active driver at Fontana. So as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to have to lean towards Kurt Busch. I don't know what he's going at.
Well,
he can be in the favorite section.
Yeah,
you're taking Kurt Busch.
No, he's going to be a mid pick. So
okay,
he's definitely a mid pick.
Yeah, he's going to be my mid pick. Then I didn't realize how far down the list he was.
Yeah, I got him at plus 2,000. What do you got him at, Scott?
Yeah, around there. The way I see it is for
DraftKings has him at plus 25 now that I see that.
Yeah, for favorites, I really see 3 options. I mean, you got either Kyle Busch, Larson at about 4 to 1, or you can maybe make an Elliott case at like
DraftKings has Hamlin at 850.
Okay, either way. So, you have any of those that you like?
I'm taking a look here real quick to see what Hamlin's done. He's been great, no wins.
He's had a couple of top 10s recently, though.
Yeah, but after he burned you last week, I have to wonder: do I want to deal with that? I don't like the fact that
it was a fluke. I mean, Burton's car flipped upside down, and Hamlin got caught in the wreckage. Like I don't think he screwed me. It was just a bad spot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he didn't do you any favors either.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I'll lean towards Elliott. He's got 3 top 10s in 5 runs, and he's got a top 5 there. I just don't want to jump on Busch because that way, there'll at least be some deviation.
Okay.
When it comes to that. It's kind of boring if everybody picks the same thing, isn't it?
We already called you a man of the people before with the 8-pick parlays. You don't have to oversell at this point. It's fine.
What's Chase Elliott's odds?
He's at plus 800 on DraftKings.
Okay. Thomas Bowe checking in says Martin Truex Jr.
He's at plus 1,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. He's got a top 10, his top 20 his last couple of races. So he's a guy that
he's won once there in 20 races at Fontana with 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean it's not a bad one.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm and you're gonna get a good price on him. So yeah, I'm okay. You're getting 8 to 1 on Truex. I think that's solid. Personally, if I was going to play an 8 to 1, I'd probably play Hamlin. I just think he's more consistent. But it was a great story last week. I don't know if you guys watched the race. They did a great backstory on Truex's wife and her battle with cancer, and very good human interest story. So,
by the way, since we
I'm definitely rooting for him.
Truex, since we talked about Hamlin, Truex, and Busch, does that mean we're basically all in on Joe Gibbs this week?
It sounds like it. Yeah, it really does. Truex, Kyle Busch, Quinella. Okay. All right. JC Stone checking in. Obviously, we're okay with that because we're on Kyle Busch. So let's do our mid picks, even though Chris already did his. So the mid picks, this is going to be the odds between like 11-1 and 33-1, I think is where it tops out. And these are realistically guys that if they make it in the top 5, you're pretty happy, right? Should be a mid-range pick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put top 5 odds on there as well. Let's see. I went last time. Scott, go ahead and go.
So, looking at the mid-range, it's a guy I faded a bunch of last week, Joey Logano. And he's around 15-1. Do I like him as a person? Not really. But on the track, he's pretty good. You're looking at the numbers here at 15-1 on FanDuel. I mean, he's finished top 7 in 5 of the last 6 races here. He's finished top 5 in 4 of the last 5 races here. The man, even if he's not going to win, he should be in the running with about 10 laps to go. That's good enough for me at 15-1. I'll take Logano.
Very good. Chris, you've got Kurt Busch plus 2,500. And by the way, Logano's odds plus 140 for top 5. Kurt Busch top 5 plus 350. So good price there for sure. And Scott, this can be a boring show. That's who I have as well. And for all the reasons that you said, he's had a lot of success there. He's had a lot of success lately.
What, are you guys sharing the same brain here or something?
We actually had a couple of shows 2 years ago when we did it, where we actually overlapped on a couple and we just dealt with it.
Overlapped. NASCAR joke. Get it?
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
So there you go. And I've got Logano as well. He's a stud.
I mean, we both don't like Logano as an actual human being, but he's good on the track.
He's okay. He's good at tracks where it's easy to stay out of trouble. That's the thing about Logano.
Well, come on, you could say that about Recky Stenhouse too. But I mean, I don't see anybody running out and chasing him down.
Recky Spinhouse.
Yeah.
Did you hear Tony Stewart talking about him?
Yeah.
He said if you didn't see it, he said Recky Stenhouse was on my team. Kid can race, but man, he crashes a lot. He crashed cars that hadn't been built yet.
Probably accurate too.
He was actually doing pretty well though at Daytona.
He was
last week, and then he crashed, of course.
He absolutely was. Shout out to Recky Spinhouse.
It's inevitable. You know that sooner or later it's going to happen. It's just it's like when you're watching a movie. It's like when's the peak going to come? That's the same thing with Stenhouse. Sooner or later he's going to crash. It's just trying to bet on when it is.
It's Chekhov's gun. You don't show Recky Spinhouse unless there's going to be a wreck later. Anytime you zero in on Ricky, you're like, okay, well, it's coming. You know it. And yeah, there it is. 3 locks for tomorrow. Well, over under a number of drivers Kozlowski wrecks. 3.5. I'll take the under.
I'm gonna go with the under just because of the track alone.
Yep.
But I'll put the number of 1.5.
3 locks for tomorrow. We're gonna give you our favorite matchups here in a minute. So if you
our locks for tomorrow is watch the qualifying because we don't know who's gonna be where.
That's the other problem with the Saturday qualifying. That's always fun. So yeah, and again, it shouldn't make a ton of difference at Fontana, 200 laps, 2-mile track, but. All right, let's do the long shot. And Chris, I'll let you start there. Who you got?
Let's see.
I got to get my pick in before Rachel duplicates it. So
I actually think there's a decent chance we're going to have the same third.
All right, fair enough. Go, buddy.
Good. I'm looking here. Boy, some of these.
Chris King, everybody. King of preparation right there.
Yeah, some of these numbers don't jump out and scream, great. So
it looks like me last week.
I have a name in my head that I feel like you're going to guess for no apparent reason. I have Tyler Reddick in my head for some reason, just as your long shot. I don't know why.
Tyler Reddick has run well here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like he might be.
Tyler Reddick has run once there.
Yeah, but how'd he do?
He finished 11th.
Okay. There you go. It's ready to go.
But no, I'm going to...
Better odds than Kurt Busch.
Well...
Who's your favorite? I like Kurt Busch.
My God, we got a menagerie going on here. The dogs are barking, the cats are meowing. Rachel, you got a gerbil that needs water or anything?
No, good on that front. I'm gonna go the route that I didn't go last week when I took Eric Jones. I'm gonna try and see if he can show up this week. He's raced here 4 times and finished the top 10 twice. I'll stick with Jones. He's at plus 8 billion. He's at plus 10,000, plus 3,500 for a top 5.
Okay.
He's at plus 1,500 for a top 10. But I can't argue 2 top 10 finishes.
Give me those numbers again. What is he? 10,000?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. It's a nice payoff he hits. getting 100 to 1 on your money. And what'd you say?
He's plus 3,500 in the top 5 and plus 1,500 in the top 10, or
Okay.
plus 3,500 in the top 3, plus 15 in the top 5.
What is he for top 10? Because your long shots, you should be top 10.
Top 10, he's going at where is he?
Plus 800 or so.
I'm checking here at the list. There's a bunch of scrubs. Where is he? Eric Jones. He's at plus 280.
Okay, top 10. All right, very good. You guys want to get involved with Akron and Ohio?
Ooh, that's gonna be it.
Ohio.
I don't know what's going on with Akron. They've kind of stumbled of late.
Is Ohio at home?
I think so.
Give me Ohio.
I have to assume after.
Yeah, Ohio's at home.
Yep.
Yeah, after the Kent State debacle, I hope for Ohio's sake that they're just still pissed off about it and they just bury this Akron team. But
yeah, they beat Ohio, or they beat Akron by 6 in Akron earlier this year. So
yeah,
I think it's Ohio or pass for me.
Yep. Give me the Bobs. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Scott, drum roll, please, because for my long shot, I'm going to take Eric Almirola. Was that the name?
No, it was not. So
Okay.
we actually veered.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I was contemplating Almirola as well, but I was looking at his average finish there is 23.2.
But he's done better lately. He's got 2 top 10s in his last 2 starts. So
True.
I will. I'll get behind Almirola to keep it close. And let's see the price on him. I've got him listed, and you guys probably have a better price. I've got him listed at plus 4,000 to win, plus 280 for top 10.
DraftKings has him at plus 250 for top 10. So
Okay.
and he's at plus 7,000.
I see 80 to 1 on FanDuel.
Beautiful. Double that money up. Quick reminder, it's our weekly reminder. Check your odds. Use different sources because there can be a significant amount of difference. Like you can double your money right there. Delaware almost ruined my night, says Groovy Caps, but we came back strong with late night best on the Sharks in Vancouver. Very good. Joey Logano, we got him, buddy. We got Rachel and I both have Logano, even though we don't like
I was
him.
against him last week, but it's all track dependent.
Yep.
Delaware
absolutely.
disappointed me yesterday.
Blue Hands, not good. That was not a good performance by them. All right, Shell, what do you got for your last pick for your long shot?
So for my long shot, somebody mentioned before on the over-under cars wrecked, but that means his car's not wrecking. He's wrecking other people. I'm taking Keselowski at around 22 to 1 on FanDuel. He's finished top 10 here in each of the last 6 races, and he's finished
when is
top
22
5.
to 1 considered a long shot?
We always did long shots being 20 and above or higher. That's how we always
well,
did.
Speed was just saying that 33.
Yeah,
or 33
you got to go
over
33.
What the hell is this?
It'll vary week to week. You just kind of got to group them together.
We always did 20 to 1 or higher. So
well, now things are different. Just when you think you have all the answers,
That's
I
right.
change the question.
Oh God,
that's right. I'll do anything to win.
I wasn't really prepared to think of somebody else. Yeah, I don't really have any information on the other guys, but screw it, Bubba Wallace plus 10,000.
All right, very good.
I looked at Bubba Wallace, but I didn't like his numbers here either.
Can I make my case for Keselowski anyway, just for the sake of it, because I have research on it?
Just so that way we can say,
sure, go ahead.
Pay no attention to all this rambling because it has nothing to do with what we were talking about for the show.
Well, if you want to bet Keselowski, I do think 22 to 1 sounds ridiculous.
That's a good price.
Top 10s in each of the last 6 and top 5 and 5 of the last 6. You should be closer
he's
to
at 25 to 1 on DraftKings.
Can you explain that? Like, why is he so high up? That doesn't really make any sense.
I guess because, people on this, you have to remember, like you said, there was no race there last year. And they want to probably see how he's going to adjust with the new stuff on this track. I agree. It's probably an overinflated price. But
unless they think somebody's going to crash him after last week. Burton.
Yeah, I mean, there's always there's always the bounty possibility,
Yeah.
Yep, very good. And what's Bubba Wallace for top 10?
It was 100 to 1.
For top 10.
Oh, for top 10. Sorry.
Listen to the question first.
Sorry. You made me call an audible. So
he's plus 280 right there with Ricky Stenhouse.
Okay, very good.
I see 3 to 1 on FanDuel.
Everybody's got plus 280. Oh, you got plus 300. Okay, good. Scott, you want to talk about your recent stretches, your plays of the day? Somebody.
Oh yeah, they haven't been good.
Somebody brought it up.
I can't say what's wrong with it. I mean, you pick games and the teams you back don't show up for the second half. Like you take an over, you beat a 6-point line move, and they score 43 points in the first quarter. Like I don't know, just things happen. That's why they play the games. I can't say that I'm changing anything in my approach. It's just things haven't worked out.
Okay. I was watching that Boise State, San Diego State game the other night, and I was like watching at the end, and I'm like,
oh, the missed free throw game?
Yeah, when they fouled the guy with 1.2 seconds to go, I'm like, I hope he doesn't make one and miss one and put this game in overtime, because I said this one was going to stay under the total. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, Boise State is terrible at the free throw line. And we keep saying it's going to hurt them come the tournament if they get there, because they're like 349th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not sure how many Mountain West teams are even going to get in, because usually they're fighting.
They're talking about 4, buddy. They're talking about.
Might get 4.
3.
Mountain West.
Lenardi has 3 in, and is it Wyoming on the bubble? Somebody on the bubble.
Wyoming has to be in at this point.
And it's Colorado.
I think it's San Diego State on the bubble.
It is San Diego State on the bubble. So there you go.
And I mean, then you got UNLV's played good basketball too. Fresno State's played well.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't played well in the conference, but they're still 17 and 10.
I'm assuming Colorado State right now is a relative shoo-in at this point.
I would think so.
They're going dancing no matter what. Wyoming's close. I think Boise's the question mark.
Save it for the Mountain West preview show, boys.
We're doing one of those?
Groovy Caps wants to know, will Chase Elliott surprise everybody? No, he will not.
I hope so,
he will not surprise Chris, because Chris took him. So he would surprise Scott and I, who are each on Kyle Busch. J.C. Stone says 20-1 is a long shot, according to the commission.
That's what it used to be. So
I know.
I guess it varies on track now. I don't know.
Well, but I mean, just like every other sport, the commission has the right to change the rules. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a universal DH if baseball ever starts this year.
God damn. This is a big weekend for baseball.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mentioned the Keselowski stuff anyway. I'll have a personal play on him. Hopefully we'll do pretty well.
You think, when I was talking to my wife, I said, this is a big weekend. There's going to be a big fight, and they're going to be hammering each other. And you're like, oh, the Ukraine war? I'm like, oh, no, the baseball negotiations.
Oh, it's a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they get anything done. I mean,
now
you're at the point where you're going to lose money. And from what Jim has been saying, most of the guys that are representing the players are represented by Boris. Yeah. So
depends
how good the bagels and the coffee are at the meeting.
Okay. So let's do this. We're going to go to our, this is something we're going to add. By the way, we're going to keep track, because this is a gambling show. So we'll keep track of how we're doing versus the money as well. And not just the points, and the reason we don't do strict money, because if you had a long shot that comes in and wins the race, you're pretty much skating for just about half a season, probably.
Yeah, at least.
So we wanted to do points system to kind of let you know who's hot, who's cold. But as you can see by me being in last place, it's not always indicative of how a person actually is doing. So,
is that because you're making fun of Rachel's recent picks or something?
Oh no, I'm making fun of my terrible week that I had. No,
I know, but you said it's not an indicator of of how you're doing.
No, and it
gamble long enough, it comes and flows.
It does.
So. Oh yeah, definitely.
It absolutely does. So, 3 college basketball locks for Saturday. Are you asking or are you asking or telling us? The lines have been up like 2 hours. So.
Yeah, I haven't looked at them for Saturday.
I have
if you
not looked
Ty,
at the lines
if you're asking, we don't know. If you're telling, put them out there for us, bud. We love to see them, because I know everybody in the comment section always likes to share. So if you got them, give them. If you're waiting. Scott and I'll probably be doing a play tonight on
probably bet against Easter.
I owe people MMA stuff, so I'll probably do an MMA video tonight.
Oh, there you go. All right, so we're gonna do one matchup each, and I was gonna go first. Scott, I'll let you go first.
All right, so for this one, I only have one matchup that I'm gonna give out. I have 2 that I like, but I'll do one. I got Logano over Byron at -110 on DraftKings. I already mentioned Logano's numbers. He's a consistent top 7 guy here. Byron is the model of consistency here, though. He's raced 3 times. He's finished 15th each time. So he's the master of 15th place. Logano should finish top 10, in my opinion. I'll take Logano at -110.
Very good. I was trying to not put too many eggs in one basket, so I kind of stayed away from the guys.
I just gravitated to the drivers I like the most on the track, and that's kind of how it went.
Yep, fair enough. I'm going to lay a big number here. I'm going to take Ryan Blaney over last week's winner, Austin Cindric. And we've seen it before. It flashes in the pan. Austin Cindric had a great moment. I don't think he's going to be a consistent threat for the Cup. Ryan Blaney
That is a steep line.
Real race car driver, and it is
What is it, like 230?
minus 220 is what I've got that at.
Yeah, that's what I've got too.
Probably the most wood you'll ever see me lay in a matchup, but I like this one a lot. So I'm going to take Ryan Blaney and risk putting myself in a giant hole to start the year going down minus 220, but that's what we're going to play.
Cool.
Chris, I know we sprung this one on you as well, so
I'm going to go with Kyle Busch over Hamlin. He's going at minus 115. Like we said, Busch has had a lot of success there. I guess it just runs in the family, provided, Busch doesn't wreck, which, of course, is always a viable possibility. But after seeing how Hamlin got caught up last week, and I know both guys have had some decent success here, but it's hard to argue when you're finishing in the top 10 more than half the time like Kurt Busch has. I'm going to go with him over Hamlin in this one. Like I said, it's minus 115.
Very good. Super Sly saying Friday night homework for me. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much what we'll be doing. Handicapping those, handicapping Saturday's action. We talked about Scott and I do picks for ESPN Radio out of Denver for every Saturday, and it's hard because we have to have them in by Friday morning, and no lines yet. So that's always fun.
It's like, well, just throw a dart out there what the line's going to be.
I like Rachel. Rachel did his recording and faded Evansville and took Missouri State and said, this line is too low. Missouri State will win by more.
I just said straight up, Missouri State's favored on the road, not by enough. That's how it started it all.
JC Stone is behind your Logano over Byron, by the way. Nice price at minus 110. I agree. I just didn't want to see everything go down in flames, literally, if my driver crashed. So,
well, the thing about Byron is, of course, I think he's got talent. We know that he was very good on the digital racing scene when that was a thing. But I know that Chris just mentioned Kyle Busch is kind of known to crash on occasion. Byron really has a hard time keeping his car clean. And on a track like this, Logano does a pretty good job usually. This could be over halfway through the race.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Byron could be spun out already.
Absolutely.
Now watch what will happen is Logano and Byron will collide and wipe each other out.
Mm-hmm. Seen it before, guys. All right, so just to recap here, everybody, we took a favorite, a mid, and for this we defined a mid of somewhere between 11 and 33 to 1, and then any long shot would be over 33 to 1. So Scott and I both took Kyle Busch to win at plus 850. Chris said
taking the favorite,
Chris,
I know Larson's going off as the favorite, but still.
Well, I actually wanted to talk about that before we finish the show.
Sure, why not?
Is there a reason why Larson is so low? I figured if anybody was going to be that big of a favorite, I know Larson's the best driver right now, but based on the track record, wouldn't you assume that Busch would at least be near Larson? Like, he has double the odds of Larson. Does that make any sense?
No, and Larson hasn't had a lot of success at this track.
He won once, but it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm talking about lately, but
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see, because he does like you said, he does have one win there. He's got seven starts, one win, 3 top 5s.
And 3
plus
top
400. 10. I mean,
so his top 10s are his top 5.
Right,
so.
right.
So like you said, the last 2 races he finished 12th and 21st.
I mean, I'm looking at Larson this week, kind of like I'm looking at Elliott. I feel like his odds should be somewhere around there. You have a guy who's been in the top 10, some top 5s, hasn't had a ton of success actually winning. I know he won once, but still, I believe Elliott came in 4th the last time out. But the point is, plus 400, I need a guy that's actually won here repeatedly.
You would have thought Busch would have been up in that range.
Kyle Busch is the track record I look for when you see a clear-cut favorite in a track. And he's just not. That's just not what Larson's record is here.
Yep, agreed. Chris has Chase Elliott plus 800, to win the race. And our mid-range picks, again, Scott and I match up. Boring. We each have Joey the Kid Logano at plus 1,500. Mid-range picks are guys that we would be happy to see him get in the top 5. Usually going to be a plus money price for top 5. And that is the case with Joey Logano, as he is plus 140 to finish in the top 5. Chris, even though he hates the Bushes, he will take one of them.
I do.
He's going to head for the mountains with Kurt Busch at plus 2,500. And Kurt Busch, nice price, finished top 5, plus 350. And as far as our long shots go, over 33 to 1 to win the race. I've got Eric Almirola, Eric with an A, by the way, plus 8,000, finish top 10 plus 280. Scott has Bubba Wallace to finish.
Debatable. I got Keselowski, but I got overruled.
Okay, so he likes Keselowski as a mid-range pick, but not better than Logano, by the way, for the record. So he didn't like him enough to supplant his.
I was ready with all three, and then you tell me I gotta pick a fourth. Thanks.
That's right. You're welcome.
It.
So he's got Bubba Wallace at 100-1 plus 10,000 and plus 300 to finish top 10. While Chris, if it's like you get on Jeopardy and you get a history, if you just answer the Magna Carta every time, sooner or later you're going to be right. And he's going to do that.
Or you be like Cliff Clavin and you go, who are three people that have never been in my kitchen?
And one of those people is Eric Jones. And Chris is going to take Eric Jones also at plus
2,000 big ones.
10,000. And he's going to finish in the top 10 will pay plus 280. So there you go. As far as our favorite matchup, I'm laying the wood, taking Ryan Blaney over rookie Austin Cindric, coming off his likely to be highlight of his life last week as he won Daytona. I'm looking for a letdown there as the veteran Ryan Blaney takes care of business at minus 220. Scott going all in on the Joey Logano basket, throwing all his eggs in the kid's basket. He's got him over Byron at minus 110. Well,
we're gonna talk about how he shouldn't be called the kid anymore, like we did last week.
Yeah, he should be the man.
With the still trying to hit puberty,
the prepubescent youth.
There you go.
The teen.
That's a catchy nickname right there. The prepubescent youth. Back at it again in second place.
And Chris, who once again, quick reminder, hates all things Busch, will take Kyle Busch over Denny Hamlin at minus 115. So there you go. Larson blood dope cheats. God. Okay, and on that note, that's a closer. I know when to get off the stage. That's going to do it for our show. Yeehaw, everybody! Let's have some fun. Enjoy the race, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate it. Of course, don't forget to check out Chris the Parlay King over there with Jim Williams doing their thing every day, Monday through Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 Central. Just parlays. They ought to change the name of that show to Just Winning Fucking Parlays, because that is what they've been doing over there, just crushing it. And Chris, he is stuck in South Carolina where you can't bet even illegally, so he's not able to cash in. You could have bought a house. You could have bought a fucking house.
Got to hire somebody.
But no, he just has the...
Yeah, but I wouldn't trust my brother to do that, and he lives in New York, so...
He just has the self-satisfaction of knowing he's hit 3 18 parlays in the last week. I'm not lying. Watch the videos. It's on there. It's hard to make it up when there's video proof on their YouTube channel. So check out Chris. And, of course, check out me and Scott each and every weekday as well, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central on the Winners and Wonders Sports Betting Network, as we will help you in your journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.